easily one of the most unique and interesting characters, not only on the Straw Hat crew, but in all of One Piece entirely. Today we're diving deep into the turbulent waters and talking about the character with the most bone-chilling tale, maybe even the deadliest character on the Straw Hat crew. Today we're going to be talking about the soul musician, the Soul King himself, Brook, the walking skeleton with the heart of gold. Before we jump into his exploits, let's rewind the clock a little bit and reveal the spine-tingling backstory of this death-defying pirate. Are y'all ready? Let's get into it. So before we actually know him and being part of the Rumbar Pirates, we do know that Brook used to be a leader of a battle convoy in a certain kingdom. It's nameless, we never got the name, and that he learned a lot of his fencing abilities and many of his attacks and received their names, and also taught other members of the battalion. That's pretty much as far as we got with before his Rumbar Pirates. Then we got what we know is today the Rumbar Pirates. 52 years ago, Brook was part of Yorkie's pirate crew, which was the Rumbar Pirates, as one of the many musicians that actually were on the crew. And one day while the rest of the crew were still in the West Blue, the ship was followed by a little baby whale. You know, everybody love Laboon, you feel me? Shout out to Laboon, you got me? That happened to get lost. And seeing that the whale was really upset, Brook suggested that his captain they should play some music to cheer the whale up, get him happy. And together with the rest of the crew, Brook played the beautiful song, and the whale kind of followed them a little bit until they got Laboon to where he needs to be so he can drop him off. After that, the Rumbar Pirates kept sailing. They got to the Grand Line and sold, just doing their thing, man, playing the musicians, partying, having a great time as pirates. And you know, they got into several fights, you know, lost a few members, but hey, that's what happens, you're a pirate crew. Until they finally got into the Calm Belt, and Yorkie happened to get infected with an incurable disease while disembarking into a forest along with other members. And I'm not gonna lie, this actually had me realizing how sad Brook's backstory was. Once they had to leave, the captain and the rest of the crew members were sick and had to go off by himself. Brook kind of became the intermediary captain at the time, and they played, got many fights, and everybody died off slowly but surely. The manga panels had me so sad to see just different people dropping off throughout the Rumbar Pirates. Eventually, until all that was left was Brook, and he eventually died. But luckily for Brook, he ate the Yomi Yomi Nomi fruit, otherwise known as Revive fruit, I believe, and ride his body. But eventually got stuck traveling around the Misty Fog for years until he finally got back to his body, which then we do know that he got stuck on Thriller Bark, got his shadow stolen by Gecko Moria. How you get your shadow stolen by the weakest, you know, Shichibukai? Hey, I don't mean no disrespect to Gecko Moria, I'm just saying, like, he is the weakest Shichibukai. But I'm not trying to get into all of Brook's backstory. You know, he got found by the Straw Hats. They defeated Gecko Moria, got a shadow back, and he joined their crew. But I want to talk about the role that Brook actually plays to the story. Brook is also the musician of the Straw Hat crew, and we do know early on in the chapters of One Piece that, you know, Luffy tried to get himself a musician before cooking a doctor and all that. You know, it was funny, but it is nice to see how talented Brook was and is, and also how he was sent away during a time skip, became a soul musician, right? He became worldwide renowned as Soul King Brook. Went on, did his Michael Jackson, you feel me? And then they all reunited back in Sabaody Archipelago. And I like to see how much Brook has changed. Not only is he more confident in himself, Brook is more outgoing, but also he shows off his powers much more. Brook is really a strong, well, all the Straw Hat characters members are actually strong, but I'm saying, like, to see Brook actually go and show his skills and powers, and Brook also gets used to Delphi more, because beyond his musical talents, Brook possesses some truly unique abilities that make him a formidable pirate. First and foremost, his soul's connection with his physical body provides him with the incredible agility and the power to move swiftly, evading attacks like a true phantom of the seas. Brook can also heal himself by literally drinking milk. Like, I believe it's intermezzo preparation and whatnot. He can heal himself by drinking milk. He can survive having his head cut off and continue to talk, smell, all of that. And he also has a sword, the Shikumuse, I don't know how to say it, but a sword concealed inside his little cane. That's honestly one of the hardest swords I've ever seen, which he uses in conjunction with his fencing skills that he's had for at least the 50 years with his training. Brook's sword so solid where he hardens his sword with a hell-freezing death-like ability. Just go crazy, I'm not gonna lie. Easily putting him into Wano contender swordmanship, not Zoro. I didn't say that, but I said Wano. Don't get me confused. But also, I want to talk about Brook's quirkiness. Brook is a very quirky character. He adds a lot of comedic relief. I would say a little bit more than Usopp. You know, we got Usopp for different things and Frankie for different stuff, but I think Brook adds a lot of comedic relief as well. You know, his little panty thing, right? You want to see the girl's panties, you feel me? Like that. I ain't gonna lie, Brook, you love Frankie, but you feel me? Then we cannot forget his laugh. The laugh is hilarious. I love hearing Brook laugh. It's fire, it's funny. I just like how Brook was written. He's such a well-written character, bringing so much depth to how he's an older character as well. He's not young like the rest of the crew. He's older. He brings wisdom to certain points of the story where it's needed. Brook is able to guide the Straw Hats, being himself a pirate previously and already having a whole crew that died on him. He knows different things to keep the crew alive, make sure that he doesn't make the same mistakes he made in his past. And I feel like that's why Brook's such a vital importance to the story, because it helps him be a more mature, even though he is a goofy character, it helps him have a more mature aspect to the crew while also helping them. And he's dead too, so it's like he doesn't have much to lose anyway, so he's able to fight with his life on the line, unlike some characters. I'm not trying to get into that, but Brook has different reasons why he does fight and is a pirate and join Luffy's crew, and I feel like we just can't forget that Brook has been there. You know, we don't typically see him as much on the forefront like we will with Luffy, Sanji, Zoro, Jinbei, Usopp even, you know. So it's good to have at least conversations about Brook, bring him into the story, bring him to the conversation, because that's how important he is. All of them, just Straw Hat is important, but Brook has a special place in my heart. One, because of the afro, so he was, you know what I'm saying, but also because Brook was also one of my first favorite characters I've seen in the story. And musical talent, I'm a big fan of music and Michael Jackson. I feel like Brook plays well into that alignment, and so shout out to Oda Ichiro, because he did a great job in scaling Brook and writing his development. And that's all I want to talk about, man. I want to talk about the deadliest member. See, I thought it was strongest, deadliest, because Brook is dead. I know, pun intended. But the deadliest member on the Straw Hat crew. I hope y'all enjoyed the video, man. Do me a favor, subscribe, like, and comment. And like always, have a blessed one.